We are super close to completing this choral composition that we have been working on together from start to finish.
Choral music from scratch.
My name is Christian Fortner. I'm a choral composer. Today marks an important shift because we have moved the music from my iPad onto my computer. That's how you know we're getting serious. This is eventually where we're going to finally make the music look the way it does on the printed sheet music. But before we do that, there's a couple more things we have to do. We got to finalize a few more notes and a few more pieces of the text as well. You're going to notice in this one there has been much more progress made on the text, but it's still not quite finished. And one thing that I actually do during this episode is a really cool technique in choral music, which is called text painting. This is essentially where the music is going to be illustrating what the text is saying. And if you're not quite understanding what I mean by that, I'm going to explain it in today's video. I'm super excited to get going on this one. This is the second to last episode in this series, so I hope you have all been enjoying this. Be sure to leave a like and even subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you have been enjoying this content. It really lets me know that this is something that you want to see and that I can make more of going forward. And as always, if you're a teacher, I would love for this to be a resource for you and for your students to learn all about music composition, specifically in the choral context. So there's actually a free question sheet linked below in the description that you can download and give to them as a little assignment, as a bell ringer, some sort of warm-up question, something along those lines, whatever works best for you. So without further ado, let's jump into the sheet music. Okay, hey guys.
What's up?
So here I am. I have now put everything that I have of the score so far into Sibelius, and it already looks a lot nicer as far as the format goes. I don't have it like in score format as of right now. Right now it's just in this like long view, but here it is like with the score. I'm gonna fix this up later so it looks better, but for right now, I'm figuring out what I want the text to be, and I've already got a few things filled in that I've kind of been hearing as I go, but I wanted to record myself on this part because I think I've come to a conclusion of what I want to do, and this is a great example of how I've written one thing with the music that makes sense. In fact, I'll just play this part right here. Okay, so that all musically, that makes sense. But what I want right here is, so what the text that I've settled on, at least for right now, again, this might end up changing, but for right now, I'm thinking, okay, not knowing what was going on, we cried as one, please bring back the sun. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in. I haven't put in slurs or anything. I'm gonna have to do that later. Okay, but here's the text. Not knowing what was going on, we cried as one, please bring back the sun. Okay, we cried as one, please bring back the sun. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to do what we call text painting. And that is where the music is illustrating what the text is saying. So let me show what you mean. Because this is saying we cried as one, like all in one voice, well, it would make sense for whenever the choir is singing what everybody is crying as one, if everybody was actually doing it as one. So what I'm going to do is, instead of keeping it in parts right here, I'm going to make it unison, or at least unison for the ladies and then down an octave for the men, but it'll be the exact same notes. So there won't be any harmony in the voices because it's all one. So it's just illustrating one voice. So I'm gonna fix that. I'll probably fast forward here and then we'll see how it sounds here in a second.
Okay.
So I have done these parts, and again, I'm probably gonna adjust this a little bit more here in a little while or later on when I'm revising, but right now, here we go. So we have, it's funny, I thought the ladies were gonna be unison, but actually, the more I thought about it, I thought, well, sopranos, y'all can handle this higher range, altos, you can handle this lower range, and then tenors, you can stick with the altos to have more unified support there, and then baritones, basses, y'all can take the low part. So I think that's actually, we kind of got 3 octaves or 2 octaves just about covered here, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, so now here we go. Okay, and then you might have noticed I ended up extending this part in the bass. It was just stopping here, but I thought it'll sound kind of cool with an echo. Please bring back the sun, please bring back the sun, something like that. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good effect. And the other thing is I originally had the altos singing in E sharp to kind of have that major, that Picardy third I mentioned earlier. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to add it back in because, I mean, now that the altos aren't singing it, there's no other parts that have that, so it no longer sounds like that major chord anymore. But I think that's okay now because of what the text is saying. It actually fits because this is kind of like a, these people are in despair because it's like the sun has disappeared, right? That's what they feel like. That's what they think, and so there's no hope at this point. So we don't actually need that anymore. It would be kind of a weird contrast between the text and the music if we kept that major chord in there. So I think I'm actually going to leave it this way.
Okay.
I'm still experimenting with other text. I'm debating whether I'm going to make this section, this ostinato, be a da 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 da. Or if it'll actually be text. I'm playing around with, I'm just having a couple inklings of some text. And you can see it right here. I'm just hearing bum, bum, na na na, covers the sun. Like I'm thinking darkness, but if it was darkness, I need this to be very staccato, very rhythmic in some cases. But like if this was like, let's see, like if this was darkness right here, whoops. If this was darkness, it sounds weird to be like da da darkness, darkness, darkness covers the sun. I don't know, maybe it's not too bad, but I kind of want to be more, it would almost sound weird, like darkness covers the sun, kind of like that. Darkness covers the sun. Maybe that will work. Darkness, like kind of almost adding an extra syllable in there, like darkness.
Light bulb.
Yeah, and then I have overrun right here. So I don't know. That's just stuff that's kind of swirling in my head right now. So, all right, yeah, we'll see how this develops. But just thought that'd be a fun thing to show as far as creation of the text. Wasn't that text painting thing kind of cool? It's really fun to find those sorts of opportunities to be able to do text painting in the choral music. Really fun little Easter egg type of thing that you can't always do in other forms of music. And if you're a choral composer, comment below what is a way that you have used text painting before, or if you've never used it before, what's a way that you would like to use it going forward? We have one more episode left. I hope y'all are excited. It's going to be a good one. By the next episode, almost all of the music, like 99% of the music and the text is going to be completed. And so all that's going to be left to do is to do what we call engraving. That is making the sheet music look nice and presentable, making it look the way that it would look when you're singing it, whenever you're rehearsing it, what you're holding in your hand. Thank y'all again so much for watching, and I will see you next time in the final episode in this series. God bless.
Okay.